I give you enough ropes for you to hang yourself, and you really don't, but you pull me in.
I mean, how many times have it happened to where people have been in relationships with somebody and they thought they knew this person and come to find out they really didn't. And they went by what they thought, because I mean, for me, a first impression is a lasting impression, but every impression is a lasting impression because what I see the second and third time is going to stay on my mind just like the very first time. And then we make that fatal mistake by saying, well, when I met him, he was this, that, and the third. Now he XYZ. He's probably was XYZ from the beginning, and you just neglected to look at that part of it.
Well, I don't have an issue with professional lies. They can't make it past. They can't make it past the first lie with me. How do you feel, Mike?
So getting back to the original question, if there are any expectations, I can't have a wealth or a lot of expectations on just the first date just because I have a lot of expectations for myself and my standards are very high.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
What's the difference between you wanting someone to meet your standards and an expectation?
I think that's going to be relative to the individual. It depends on what your standards are and how high you set that bar for the person that you are on the date with or that you're dating or whoever you choose to get involved with.
I love the political answer, but the question was, what is the difference between an expectation and a standard?
I would think that.
I was going to explain that for my own personal definition, but I got cut off, so.
Continue.
I think somebody needs to keep it real on this video.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in for a second, Mike, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
I would venture to think that somebody's standard is their expectation. For me, I'm going to expect you to be my standard before I even go on a date with you. And if you're not my standard, then that means there's no expectations. So you have to first meet my standard to meet the expectations to land a date with somebody like me.
Well, it depends on how that date is set up. Like if a mutual friend says, if you're out with a friend and say, hey, I have this person who's interested in you, you exchange numbers real quick, and then that's it, and then you guys decide to go on the date or whatever, then you may not get to know that person well enough to know for that first date if they're going to meet your expectations or meet that standard. And so a lot of times you find that out on the first date.
Mike, but you said something very important, and this is me all the way, and I didn't even think about this till you just said it. I hold such high expectations of myself. I may not, and this is crazy. I may not even think about that other person because I'm so busy trying to make sure that I'm all that I need to be. Because I want that person to walk away thinking, "Dang, I got a chance to have a date with that person." Yeah. So my expectations actually are upon myself and not that person.
Yeah, and once again, it just depends because I really think it just depends on where you're at, the conversation that you had before, if there was a conversation, the type of person who you are looking for, and I mean, I don't know. I just feel I don't want to go sit down with you face to face, and you're not what I wanted to go and sit down with. Because if I say, okay, well, we met so and so, okay, let's meet at I don't know, Ruby Tuesdays. And we meet at Ruby Tuesdays and I realize that you're not what I want to sit up there and eat with, then there's no point in me staying. That to me would be a waste of my time. Going somewhere and I know I don't want to be at this particular place with this particular somebody, that for me would be a waste of my time and I would be really pissed off.
So 30 to 40 minutes as opposed to 3 to 4 weeks.
What, 3 to 4 weeks? I'm not sitting in front of you looking in your face. I'm not sitting there looking in front of your face and this and the third because how many people go on a date with somebody and they stay for 30 minutes and say, you know what, this ain't gonna work, I'm gonna get up and walk out.
I do it.
Oh my God, you'll leave her in the middle of the day?
Yes.
I won't leave in the middle of the date, but when it wraps up, I'll just kind of go ahead and hint, yeah, it was nice meeting you.
If you don't meet my expectations when I meet you, like if you don't even meet my expectations off the first 5 minutes, I will walk away. I'll say this is not gonna.
That's a waste of time.
This is not gonna work.
No, it's not. He's keeping it real.
This is not gonna work. It was nice meeting you. Have a nice day.
But see, that to me is a waste of time. If I'm on the phone with you, I can easily say, "Look, this ain't going. I'm hanging up the phone."
But because someone can give you stunts and shows on the phone.
No, way before 3 or 4 weeks. If this person is the type of person that I want to talk to, I'll know that the first conversation.
I don't believe. Well, this is just me. I don't believe in going into something with no expectations. I don't.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, like I can't speak on everyone, but for me, I can't have expectations because the bar for the expectation will be so high that it will be very difficult. Very difficult. It'll be like finding a needle in a haystack for me. Of finding someone who would meet those expectations. So
that it almost sounds like you're settling.
Just by going on a first date?
No, I mean because you're saying if you have expectations that they would be so high.
But we're talking about you getting to know someone for the first time. Like this is your first outing. This is your first date.
We're sitting down, having a conversation. I'm asking you, about yourself. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What type of music do you like? What do you plan on doing with your life? Are you going to school? What do you do for a living? Those would be the questions that you would ask.
All that stuff lands a date with me. I'm sorry. Like, I got to know that before we go sit down. And then you can expound on it if you choose to. But before we sit down and eat, no, I need to know all that before because I don't want to sit up there and listen to some bullshit. I'm sorry. That ain't going to work for me.
They can feed you the bullshit on the phone.
Okay, but that like I said, that'll land a date with me. They can feed the bullshit in your face. I'd rather for you to feed the bullshit to my face than no. I don't want you to feed the bullshit to my face. I want you to do it over the phone because that's going to land a date. I don't want to sit up there and, not me. I can't. I'm sorry. Because if you get up there and talking about that, you plan on having your own fucking, I don't know, weed growing company. Like, no, I don't want to hear that.
You know what, though? I think expectations change with dates as well. Like, expectations change with people as well, too, Lawrence. Yeah, that's like your expectation of the date is one thing, your expectation of the person is one thing, if you want to go into expectations. Now, let's say I do have an expectation. My only expectation is I want to have a good time. At the moment where I stop having a good time, that's the moment where we need to say, all right, well, I'll call you tomorrow, knowing that means I won't call you again.
All right, YouTube, mental note, YouTube, if you ever go out with Morris, if he says, I'll call you tomorrow, just know it's a wrap.
So now I'm going to tell you I'll call you in a couple of minutes. I'm a professional liar. I come from that city. So do you.
I think that we always have expectations after a certain point with somebody. Because even when you with somebody, you don't expect them to do something that's out of the right way of doing things. Like, that's when you're, like, in a relationship with somebody, you don't expect that person to cheat on you. So you're still holding that expectations, but they didn't cheated on you. So my thing is, how rational is it for us to expect something from somebody on the first date when you got so much more to go past?
Expectations equal standards. I'm Watu, and this video is being wrapped up.
Yeah, he cut that right off.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.